The water surged with deadly force, pulling him deeper into the dark cave. In that split second, he realized escape was slipping away, and so was his life. That day in October, deep inside Missouri's Roaring River Cave, what should have been a routine dive quickly turned into a nightmare no diver ever wants to face. Roaring River Cave is known among technical divers as one of the most challenging and dangerous underwater cave systems in the region. Its labyrinth of narrow passages and deep chambers demands not only skill, but absolute precision in preparation and execution. On October 14th, 2022, two experienced technical divers, Eric Hahn and his diving partner Marty, entered the cave with a clear mission: to place extra air tanks at depth, ensuring safety for future dives. Both men were well-trained and highly respected in the diving community, familiar with the risks involved in such demanding environments. Despite their expertise, the dive took a tragic turn. What unfolded in those dark, cold depths was a sequence of events marked by miscalculations and sudden emergencies. Events that led to Eric Hahn's fatal accident. The story of that dive reveals a series of critical mistakes and terrifying moments, from oxygen poisoning to panic-induced decisions and equipment complications. It serves as a powerful reminder of how unforgiving cave diving can be, even for the most skilled. Exploring what went wrong sheds light on the dangers of oxygen toxicity, the importance of proper gas mixtures, and the need for mental control under pressure. It's a lesson that resonates far beyond Roaring River, echoing throughout the technical diving community worldwide. Eric Hahn and Marty had spent months preparing for their dive into Roaring River Cave. Both were seasoned technical divers, experts in navigating the twisting underground river system. Their mission was straightforward: place extra air tanks at key depths within the cave. These tanks were crucial, acting as emergency supplies for future divers who might explore the dark, underwater labyrinth. On October 14th, 2022, they geared up meticulously. Every piece of equipment was inspected, every tank filled with what was believed to be the correct breathing gas mixture, a precise blend of oxygen, nitrogen, and sometimes helium, designed to keep their bodies safe under pressure. They double-checked their dive plans, the gas schedules, and the communication signals. The stakes were high, but the two divers were confident. The descent into the cave was slow and controlled. The water around them was cold and still, the world above shrinking to a distant memory. Visibility was limited, illuminated only by the beam of their dive lights cutting through the darkness. They followed their planned route, placing the extra tanks one by one at predetermined spots. At first, everything went smoothly. Marty secured the first tank on a rocky ledge deep within the cave. Eric moved to set up the second when suddenly, something changed. Eric began to feel strange. At first, there was a subtle numbness around his lips and fingers, almost like the first signs of numbness from cold. Then, his vision blurred and a tight pressure built behind his eyes. A growing sense of dizziness and nausea crept in, the physical symptoms of oxygen poisoning or oxygen toxicity taking hold. Oxygen poisoning occurs when a diver breathes gas with too high a concentration of oxygen under pressure. While oxygen is life-sustaining at surface levels, under the intense pressure of deep water, excess oxygen becomes toxic to the body's nervous system. It can cause convulsions, confusion, and panic, often with little warning. Eric's breathing quickened. His heart raced. The panic began to overwhelm his training. The numbness and blurred vision gave way to a sense of impending doom. His body screamed at him to escape. Without thinking through his options, Eric made a decision. He had to get to the surface, fast, in the claustrophobic confines of the cave. This was a dangerous move. Ascending too quickly can cause decompression sickness, commonly known as a bends, a painful and sometimes fatal condition caused by nitrogen bubbles forming in the bloodstream. But Eric's mind was clouded by panic and the terrifying symptoms overtaking him. He started a rapid ascent. Marty saw Eric's sudden change immediately. From a distance, he noticed Eric's frantic movements and accelerated pace. Marty shouted through their communication system, urging him to slow down, to stay calm. He tried to reach Eric, hoping to stabilize him, to bring him back to reason. But panic is a powerful force. In that moment, Eric was no longer responding to logic or training. His body's fight-or-flight response took over, driving him upward, breath by breath, faster than safety protocols allowed. Marty had no choice but to follow, hoping to guide Eric safely out of cave. The rapid ascent was fraught with danger. In a deep cave dive, controlled, slow ascent are essential. The diver's body needs time to adjust as nitrogen dissolves safely out of the tissues. Ascending too fast risks decompression sickness, stroke, or other serious injuries. What made this incident even more tragic was a root cause, an error in the gas mixture. The breathing gas Eric was using had a higher than safe oxygen concentration for the depth they were diving at. This miscalculation or mistake in preparation exposed him to oxygen toxicity. Eric's tanks were not empty. His air supply was sufficient throughout the dive. But even with enough gas, the wrong mix turned lethal. Equipment-wise, everything was functioning. His regulators and tanks operated normally. The complication wasn't a failure of hardware. It was a physiological crisis caused by the toxic environment created by the breathing gas. After the frantic ascent and the rescue attempt, Eric's body was later found inside the cave, deep at the scene of the incident. Examination confirmed he had not run out of air. The tragedy was not caused by equipment failure or lack of air, but by the terrifying effects of oxygen poisoning combined with a rapid ascent. The consequences were devastating. The panic-induced ascent and the neurological effects of oxygen toxicity proved fatal. It was a harsh reminder that in technical cave diving, even the smallest misstep, one wrong gas calculation, can lead to disaster. When Eric Hahn failed to surface as planned, the situation immediately escalated from concerning to critical. The team on the surface quickly realized that something had gone terribly wrong inside Roaring River Cave. The complex and unforgiving nature of underwater cave systems means that any search and rescue operation is fraught with danger and uncertainty. Organizing a rescue team for a deep cave dive is no simple task. The rescuers had to navigate the exact same twisting, narrow passages where Eric and Marty had been diving, places where visibility was limited to just a few feet, and where the underwater current could shift unpredictably. Every minute counted, but the environment offered no mercy. The team prepared carefully, checking equipment, gas mixtures, and dive plans with the utmost precision to avoid adding another victim to the tragedy. Back on the surface, emotions ran high. Friends, family, and the wider technical diving community waited anxiously for news. Eric Hahn was well known and respected, an expert diver with years of experience. His sudden disappearance sent shockwaves through the close-knit world of cave diving. Messages of hope and prayers poured in, as everyone held on to the hope that Eric might be found alive. Hours into the search, the rescuers finally located Eric's body deep inside the cave. The moment was both a relief and a heartbreak. Relief that he was found, so his family and friends could have some closure. Heartbreak for the tragic loss of a talented and passionate diver. The condition of Eric's body revealed important clues. Contrary to what some might expect, Eric had not run out of air. His tanks were still full, and his breathing equipment showed no signs of malfunction. The incident was not due to an equipment failure or a lack of breathing gas. Instead, early reports and analyses pointed to complications caused by oxygen poisoning and the resulting panic-driven rapid ascent. Medical experts specializing in diving physiology weighed in, explaining how oxygen toxicity affects the nervous system and can lead to seizures, loss of consciousness, and fatal outcomes, especially in confined, high-pressure environments like deep caves. The rescue team's findings and the expert analysis sparked deep reflection within the technical diving community. The incident became a sobering reminder of how unforgiving cave diving is. Even the smallest mistake in calculating gas mixtures or planning a dive can quickly turn fatal. Eric Hahn's death sent ripples through the diving world, prompting renewed calls for rigorous training, better safety protocols, and stricter gas management practices. Diving instructors and organizations began emphasizing the importance of double and triple checking gas blends, the risks of oxygen toxicity, and mental preparedness in emergency situations. This tragic event also highlighted the emotional toll such accidents take on families and communities. Eric's family and friends mourned deeply, while fellow divers grappled with the harsh reality that even the most skilled and prepared can fall victim to the dangers lurking beneath the surface. The Roaring River Cave incident serves as a powerful, painful lesson, one that continues to influence technical divers today. It stands as a warning to all who seek to explore the underwater world. Respect the risks, never take shortcuts, and always prepare for the worst. The tragic incident at Roaring River Cave serves as a stark reminder of just how critical precise preparation is in the world of technical cave diving. Among all the factors involved, the importance of correctly preparing the breathing gas mixture cannot be overstated, especially when diving in deep, complex cave systems where the margin for error is razor thin. Breathing gas mixtures are carefully calculated blends of oxygen, nitrogen, and sometimes helium, designed to keep divers safe under varying depths and pressures. But when these mixtures are off, even by a small margin, the consequences can be deadly. Eric Hahn's oxygen poisoning was a result of such a miscalculation. Oxygen toxicity, caused by breathing gas with too high an oxygen concentration at depth, attacks the nervous system, causing symptoms like numbness, dizziness, blurred vision, and, in severe cases, seizures or loss of consciousness. Recognizing these early warning signs can be the difference between life and death. Beyond the physiological dangers lies the battle with one's own mind. Panic underwater is a diver's worst enemy. When Eric Hahn's body was overwhelmed by oxygen toxicity, panic set in, triggering a rapid ascent that sealed his fate. The psychological impact of emergencies beneath the surface cannot be underestimated. Divers train extensively not just to master equipment, but also to control their emotions and remain calm under pressure. Panic clouds judgment, speeds up breathing, and leads to decisions that often make dangerous situations worse. Equipment plays a vital role, too. While Eric's air tanks and regulators were functioning properly, this incident highlights the necessity of thorough maintenance and regular checks. Even perfectly functioning gear can't save a diver if the gas mixture is wrong or the diver's psychological state deteriorates. Every dive requires meticulous attention to the equipment, checking seals, valves, gas mixes, and redundancy systems to prevent failure. For divers everywhere, the lessons from Roaring River Cave are clear. Always triple-check your gas mixtures before diving. Ensure the oxygen percentage is appropriate for your planned depth. Study and recognize the early symptoms of oxygen toxicity and other gas-related dangers. Training should include mental drills for emergency responses. Practice psychological resilience and remain calm when things go wrong. Control breathing and slow, deliberate movements can prevent panic spirals. Maintain and inspect equipment rigorously. Trust in your gear comes from regular maintenance, not assumption. Follow established safety protocols and never cut corners. Even routine dives demand respect for the risks and thorough preparation. Every dive into a cave is a calculated risk. The beauty and mystery of underwater caves draw adventurers in, but these environments are unforgiving. The Roaring River Cave tragedy is a somber call to respect those dangers and to approach each dive with humility, knowledge, and discipline. As we look back on Eric Hahn's story, we don't just mourn the loss of a skilled diver. We also gain invaluable insights that can save future lives. The incident reminds us all that beneath the cold, dark depths of Roaring River, life is fragile. And yet, with knowledge and careful preparation, we hold the power to navigate those depths safely. In the end, the chilling silence of the cave echoes one undeniable truth. It's not just a physical challenge that tests divers, but the strength of their minds and the thoroughness of their preparations. Roaring River Cave taught us that in the depth of the earth, survival depends on respect for nature, mastery of science, and the courage to stay calm when every instinct screams to flee. Under those cold, dark layers of water, we recognize both the fragility of life and the strength that comes from knowledge and careful preparation.